Good morning, girls. The last day in class, I got you to do this particular question, okay? So some of you didn't have a compass, and that's fine. You sent me on your solutions, which was lovely to see them as well, how you're getting on. So I'm going to do this development, and then I'm going to introduce cylinders. So with every question that we've done so far, we've had slopes involved, and we've had just straight lines, and I've introduced a curve. The next style of question that we're going to introduce are cylinders. Now, I'm going to do this question first. So basically, the back is the biggest piece. So that's what I'm going to put in the middle of my page. And the two sides are going to open down flat from that. The bottom will be underneath. And then I'm going to put the front attached to one of the sides, because otherwise my development will be too big. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick sketch of what I'm going to be talking about. And then I'm going to start adding the measurements as you see them from here. Okay, I might reflect back on them again in a couple of minutes' time, but there may not be any need. Okay, and based on the solutions that a lot of you have handed up to me, that's what you were doing. Okay, so start off like you always do with a baseline. And the back of this is 65 in length, or in width, should I say, 65. And the side attached to this is 55. So do 55 to the left of it. So this is the side, then I will have the back. Attached to that will be the other side, which is also 55 in width. And then the front is another 65. So I have 55, then 65, then 55, then 65. As you can see, it's every second one. 55, skip, 55. 65, skip, 65. So every second one is that particular measurement. Draw these lines just lightly upwards, so we can kind of get a feel for the basic shapes. And now I'm going to do the base and the heights. So the base has to be 55. So I'm just going to measure that 55. The base and the bottom is the same thing. So I have that going across. And you can see that this 55 will tie up with this one, and that's why they're the same. This is 65 and it's going to measure up to that 65. So that's good. So at the minute I have the bottom, and I have, that's the front. I have the two sides, the back and the front. I need to add measurements to this now. So there's a couple of measurements involved in this. There's 110 tall and then there's 70 tall. So I'm going to do both of those. I'm going to do the 70 and the 110 all at the kind of one time. So lightly bring the 70 across your page and lightly bring the 110 across your page. Grand. Okay. So the front is actually finished. That's just a 65 by 70 box, and we've drawn that, which is brilliant. The back is finished because it's 110 by 65, and that's finished. What's missing is the straight line out for a little bit, and the curve, and then the flat bit for a little bit. Where all of these measurements come is from the side of it. You can see 10, 40 and 5, and that all adds up to the 55. So in 255 spaces, I would have to measure out, doesn't really matter if I do it up here or up here, 10, 40, and 5. Okay, so that's what I've done on that side, 10, 40 and then 5. And same on left, but I have to do it in reverse order, 10, 40 and then 5. Okay. With the 10, I'm just going to transfer it up to the top surface, to the 110. Now that I have that, I found center points for the arcs. Some people were going to be doing straight lines. We're going to join that 10 to this point as a straight line if you didn't have your compass, and you continue that out on both sides. But I was asking you to follow the question if you had your compass. And what you're doing in that instance is you're just joining the arc around. Okay, so if you have a compass, you'll do the arc. If you don't have a compass, you'll do it as a straight line, or a sloping line, should I say. Okay, and as you can see, I'm just drawing all the edges out straight as they're meant to be. All the outside will be heavy, all the inside will be hidden detail. Now, as you can see, I still have a semicircle to do up on the top there, and that's fine. I'll get it done in a second. And this is an open box because there's only 5 sides to it. And we're almost finished. That's an outside line, so it'll be heavy. And as you can see, all I'm missing is this curve here. Okay, and as I said, if you didn't have compasses, you'll just draw them as straight lines or sloping lines. If you do have your compass, you're just measuring into 10 and you're drawing that arc. Okay, so that was the development that I was asking you to do. All the measurements are given. That's 110 tall if you were stuck. This is 70 tall again, and I'm getting all of those measurements directly from the question. Now that we have all of that, okay, and I've done this question now, I'm going to explain cylinders. So cylinders are circular profile all the way around, but if you cut down the side of even a Pringles box and you opened it out flat, it will be a rectangular shape. So I'm just going to explain that. So these were just extra questions, we didn't have to do them. Okay, so even the peaches tin. You're asked to draw a complete surface development of the cylinder. Now, by observing, for example, some kitchen roll, it is evident that the curved surface of a cylinder unrolls into a rectangle. You see that when you start unravelling the kitchen towel. Okay, or kitchen roll. The figure below shows that the curved surface of a cylinder unrolling into a plane, the development has the length equal to the circumference on the top of the bottom circle and the height equal to the height of a cylinder. What that's saying is the distance around here is the same distance or length of that line, and the height of the rectangle has to be the height of the cylinder. And then you will get your development. Okay, and it's just going to be a rectangular surface. Okay, and we're going to do that now. You can see in the drawing and plan, so you have an elevation and a plan, that the circle, when you look down on top of it, it's divided up into a number of key spaces, and they take one length of it. And because that circle is divided up into 12, they step that distance off 12 times with the compass. And that gets the circumference around the actual cylinder. The height of it is the same height as the elevation. And then you can just draw the discs. You don't necessarily have to draw the elevation plan to draw the development. And we might have to draw it in some cases, but not all the time. The question I'm going to do with you now is the Pringles box. You're asked to draw the given views, and then you're asked to draw the surface development. The diameter of this is 74. So we're going to have half that in order to get the radius. So start off on a new page. You might need to, again, stick 2 sheets of paper together in order to fit this on an A4 page. Okay, so the questions that we're doing from now on, you kind of need A3 paper for it. If you were in school, I would have been giving you A3 paper. But 2 A4 sheets is perfect. Okay, so you can do it on the back side of your page if you like. I know some of you might have tape down along the centre, and that's fine. And you're just going to stick on the edges like you've always done. We're not going to worry about doing a border. We're just going to go straight into it. So in order to draw the elevation and plan, just keep it to the left hand side here. We're going to draw a centre line to start, and then we're going to draw a baseline to start the elevation, and then we're going to draw a centre line to draw the circle. So you can see you have a crosshairs, so I can put my compass on the centre to draw the plan, and I have the baseline and a centre line in order to draw the elevation. Now, so in order to get the radius, what you need to actually measure on your compass, with the 74, you just divide it by 2, and that gets you the radius, which is 37. Now 37 is awkward enough measure on your little compass, but you'll put your compass on 0 and you'll stretch it out to 37. Okay, so that's 2 beyond halfway, that's 37. Okay, that you have that on the centre crosshairs, you can just draw that circle in. Okay, in order to get the elevation, you don't have to measure the 74 again, the 37 and 37, because it is 37 to the left hand side and 37 to the right hand side. You can just transfer the widths from the plan directly up. And you're just going to measure the height of 85. Okay, so we're just going to measure a height of 85 now for the overall height of the Pringles box. Okay, so we've drawn the given views, which means that we've drawn the plan and elevation of the object. We are now going to do the development. And from my explanation earlier on is we need to get the circumference of this cylinder to put it out on a straight line. It doesn't matter where you do the development, but it's clever to keep it in line with your elevation. But bear in mind, I'm going to have to draw the top of this, which is a circle, and the bottom of this, which is a circle. So if I do that, it won't fit on my page. So I'm just going to actually rub out that, and I'm going to just do it elsewhere. So I know my rectangle has to be 85 tall. So anywhere on your page, and I'm kind of going to keep it lower down just because I know it won't fit on my page if I keep it up too high. So in the middle of my page, I'm doing the 85. I'm just remeasuring that 85. And I'm going to do 2 lines out to represent its base and its height. So there's the base and there's the height. Now I need to get the circumference, but as you know, like I can't just measure the distance because it's a circle. So what we do instead is we take equal distances around the circumference, and it's a little bit more accurate to take one small measurement and step it off a number of times, but the more divisions you do, the better. Now, the divisions that you do, it's best to use your 30-60 set square because you can get 12 equal divisions on it. If you use your 45 set square, you can only get 8. So 12 is better than 8, and that's why we use our 30-60 set square. And every line that we draw is going through the center point. Every single line has to go through the center point. And I'm just doing 30 and 60 degrees in both directions. And the result is I have 12 divisions all the way around here. So let's say that's my starting point, 0. This will be my starting point, 0. And 0 is joined to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'll be 12 individual spaces beyond 0. So you'll grab your compass and you'll take one individual space. And you'll see that the distance between 1 and 2 is the same, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 6. It's the same all the way around because as you can see, it's uniform. So we're going to take this distance and on the bottom line, we're going to strike it once, twice, 3 times. We're going to do it 12 times. Okay. And where it finishes is going to be the outside. That's going to be a heavy line also. Now I'm just conscious you mightn't be able to see all of that from my drawing, so I'm going to move that over a little bit. So we're happy enough with the elevation, I hope, at this stage. Now, okay, so I've measured up 85. I've done 12 of these spaces. If you want, I can number these just so you can see that I have the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, and that's the 12th one. That's the heavy line. So that is the circumference of the shape accounted for. You can do these construction lines up. Some teachers put them as fold lines. You don't have to because you're not actually creasing the paper at that point. It kind of naturally just happens. You don't actually have to do those vertical lines. It's just getting the correct amount of space. Anyhow, what's missing from this is the top and the bottom. So we know when we look down on the Pringles box and we take off the lid, it's a circle and that has to go on the top. And then when you look at the bottom, there's also a circle. So we need to show those 2 discs as well. It doesn't matter where you put it, but I think it's nice to always put it directly in the middle. So on line 6, draw a centre line. And what I need is 74 below and 74 above the baseline. And we know that the centre point is 37. So again, measure 74 and measure 37 to get halfway. And when you have the 37, You can just draw the disc in or the circle in, because that's the top. And the bottom then, down 37. Get your center point, draw the circle in as well. And as you would have seen from every other development you've ever done, the outside lines are heavy and they're all outside lines. Okay, so that is the development of the Pringles box done. I'd love you to get this done also. So you're correcting the question that I gave you on Friday. You're doing this Pringles box. And I'm going to get you to do one more question. So I don't know why that hasn't focused. So we've done this one, which is the Pringles box. I'd love you to try question 2. So as you can see, it's actually half of a circle. So instead of it being 12 spaces, half will be 6 spaces. So you'll have 6 of these guys. And that'll be the circumference. And then you can see there's a back attached, and a lot of people actually forget the back. So attached to the curved surface, there'll be a rectangle at the back, which is 60 wide and 75 tall. This is an opened bin. Okay, it's open, so you don't need a disc on top, a semicircle on top. You just need one on the bottom. And it'll be just a semicircle, not a full circle, because this is only a half circular shape, semicircle. Okay, so you're going to draw the elevation, the plan, and the development for it. Okay, so I'll let you work ahead on that. I'm going to see you live now.